I'm so Hollywood, lights, camera, action. You know the cameras flashing when I'm passing.
Welcome to the Highlight Reel. I am your host, Lester Green.
And I'm your co-host, Nas Panky.
Absolutely. And we have a unique guest in a very special way. Her name is Geek Junky. We're going to find out why she goes by Geek Junky. We're going to see some of her costume pieces. We're even going to get a chance to see something. We'll see. Stay tuned, Geek Junky.
Yes, stay tuned.
Geek Junky, welcome to the Highlight Reel. It is a pleasure to have you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to talk to both you, Nas, and Lester. I'm excited to be on the Highlight Reel and to tell my story, and that's period, okay?
Period. So let's go right into it. Geek Junky. That's an interesting name because normally when you hear those two words, you associate them with something negative. So were you conscious of that in naming yourself? What was the significance behind giving yourself Geek Junky?
I was very much conscious of the word geek and junkie having a negative background, just as white and black has meaning behind them. I decided that I will take control of my own meaning of words, and we control our meanings. And so I decided to start to show geek and junkie in a more vibrant light, a beautiful light, beautiful fabrics and things that I normally use as negative, I tuck and uplifted in my garments. So.
I like it.
Great. Now you're from a very iconic, special place, and I want you to give us the city and the state where you're from. I mean, this place is just amazing. It's the birthplace of hip hop music and culture. And of course, you are the most cultural person that I know here in Atlanta. Can you tell us where you're from? And also, can you tell us a little bit about your fashion style and the Japanese culture and how it correlates?
Well, I'm originally from the Bronx, New York, and that's on period, okay? I'm gonna stop saying the word period for 1 second. No, period, okay? Period. I love New York. I'm from the Bronx, born and raised. My Japanese style influence came from my high school and junior high. I started as a Japanese interpreter at school. We did Japanese languages, and our school took it upon themselves to basically advance the Japanese culture to just not just the books, but actual partaking in how the style of eating is, the style of sitting, the actual garments and garbs that they wore. And I was so influenced by the techniques that they use and the love that they have. Like prior, I learned that the chopsticks, the wood that they're made out of, are a certain type of wood, and how they place them back into the paper with grace and just respect. And I just fell in love with the culture. And so when I was leaving New York, I had a balance of Japanese harajuku culture, the whimsical culture, and also street fashion. And I combined that into my representation of Geek Junky, the brand.
Oh, okay. Wow. I like that.
Wow, you are so dope. I love that.
You are. It's so different.
Thank you.
So I know you're a costume designer, right? And you sew. I'm an actor and I act. My mother inspired me to act. I wanted to know what inspired you to sew. What motivated you to say, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is my calling.
The process started with school. When I moved to Atlanta, I didn't have a particular thing to follow. I just wanted to be a part of something. Decided to go back to school, went to the Art Institute. From the Art Institute, I went there for fashion and retail management. They require you to do 3 months of interning. And in the process, finding my intern, my teacher told me about a designer that has these interns. And I'm like, okay, let me find out. Let me see how I fit in. I end up going to the designer. And when I say everybody looks like superheroes and was melanated in human form, I was so excited to be part of that intern that it inspired me to want to create. So I started with skirts, and then I transitioned to shirts, but then I stopped, and then my mom passed. And then from my mom passing, and not to pass over it quickly, but my mom passed. And that was a hard time for me. I had to learn how to cope with life and how to cope with her passing. And then I started to indulge in sewing for a coping mechanism that ended up translating into passion. And then I just got stuck doing it. And then I just kept going and going and going, and it just wouldn't stop. And now I'm here today with this brand, Geek Junky, of unconventional materials, unconventional resources, and creating beyond my wildest dreams.
Wow, wow, and you're doing a phenomenal job. And so now you have transitioned into from fashion design, which you're still doing, but now you're incorporating film. Can you tell us how that got started, and when did you know that you wanted to get into filmmaking, into wardrobe and styling and so forth?
Well, right after I graduate, it was June 2014. I walked, and I knew a lady in my school named Miss Renee Jackson. She was in wardrobe for years, and her sister, if I'm correct, was the lady who did Eddie Murphy's jacket, the red jacket that he was known for.
Oh
So I
yeah.
was like, wow, it's so much stuff going on that I didn't know about film. So when I started to do background, she introduced me to background. I didn't know people in background existed. I thought everybody in movies were actors. Actors got paid good. I didn't know background was another sub level, but it still, brings the picture together. And when I got on my first set, I was with Miss Renee Jackson. I was with a guy named Day. He's a costume designer also. And another guy, keep calling him Andy. I'm not for sure that's his name. But I met them on set, worked my set. I was dressed how I was dressed. And I worked on set, and we was talking. I was showing them my work and my beginning stages of me. And they pulled me to the side. I was like, you are the future Andy Warhol of your time. And I was just like, wow, if you feel that about me now, and that's what you see from me, then what is my future me going to be? Will I be the future, top designer? I didn't know. So after doing that, time happened. Money wasn't as good as I wanted to be for me to be able to afford the union. The union is not cheap, but it's definitely a great investment. And as I was going, I met Nas in 2000. I want to say 18, I met Nas. She was doing a play. I dressed Nas for the play because I met her at another event prior to that. It was easy selling. Nas told me, I'm going to get back to you after the play happened. We're going to hang out. We're going to do some things. And I was like, okay, cool. Met Nas. Like, okay, we did the one project. And she literally came back to me 2 years later. It was like, sis, I told you I'm coming back. I was like, you're a woman of your word. And that's on period. And so we end up working together. COVID happened. And even during COVID, Nas was able to get me gigs that added to my funding of my union paper. And then I ended up doing all the background that I did. It also added funding to me getting back money from the COVID relief for unemployment. So all that funding and networking that I did added to my future, solidifying my future in union. And I'm glad to say that Nas stuck with me. Nas sealed my reference letter, which made me get into the union, and I got sworn in on Sunday. So I feel really excited. Thank you to Nas and so many people like George Lott, Day that I met in 2014, Basola, which I met as background. I'm so thankful for y'all for believing in me, sticking by my side, and encouraging me to live in my passion, live in my truth, and to keep going. And now I'm in union, and I'm ready to get paid. Okay, that's it.
I'm so proud of you. Congratulations.
I'm so proud of you.
Ooh.
You know that song by Drake?
Yes.
That's my old lady dance.
So I see you dancing. You're clearly very comfortable in your own skin. You're very comfortable in your creativity. I'm assuming that it took some time to get to that point. What advice would you give a woman or a young woman or even a young man who wants to get into costume designing? What advice would you give him or her to maintain that level of focus to get there? And how would you encourage him to get through it?
First, live in your truth. Be true to yourself. People words don't count. If you believe in yourself more than anybody else believe in yourself, it's going to show. It's going to shine through. Just do it for yourself. Do it with passion. Be true to your passion. Also, example, I look back to this day into my Facebook just to remind myself of where I've come from. And there are moments I beg people to help me to get to where I'm in now, to the position I'm in now. And I begged and I begged. And different response was like, oh, okay, I'll help you. Or maybe I'll help you. I'll get back to you. And now the tables have turned. And I'm not treating anyone mean. I would never do that. Because at that time, that was their issue. But they need me now. They ask for my, they don't need me. They ask for my assistance now. And I have to prioritize to what's important to me and my future and the people who have stuck by my side. And then they come, you know, as a trickle down. But I focus on what's important to me. Definitely collaborate with people who wants to be in your circle, who wants to be in your, who believe in what you're doing. Collaborate, make it an open forum, reach out. If people decline you, that's okay. Don't take it personal. People decline you every day. It happens, it's life. Do not take it personal. Then you work with other people who wants to work with you and you'll see that transition of yourself blossom into who you want to become. So just live your best life.
That.
Live for yourself. Not for yourself, but live for the passion of yourself.
Yeah. I see you have that Metro card on your ear. Do you wear it in New York City everywhere you go?
Everywhere. Because they took my ID when I moved here. And the only way I can represent New York is by this Metro card and then my other earring I normally wear, but it's not on my ear. I have an eyeball. But I love it. I love New York and I rep it to the fullest. I'm just one step away from getting a tattoo, but I'm not gonna do that. That's just too much. I'm not gonna do it. But I love New York that much. It raised me to become who I am. If I didn't have the skin of New York, I might have stopped.
Right.
Life would have stopped me. And I'm not saying people in Atlanta won't have the skin for their circumstance. I'm just saying New York had to raise me for me to be who I am now. And that is on life. That's on period. That's on everything. My grandma had to be the one to raise me. My mama, all the people. And the circumstances in New York had to raise me for me to be this person right now, to walk out with a bow and her hair and a Metro card on her ear. You have to be very strong.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like,
yes.
Lenses with the glasses with no lenses in them. I'm just saying.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
I just love your style. I love everything about you. So how can people stay in touch with you? How can they follow you on social media? Give us the 411.
But the 411 is I got 2 sites. I ain't focused on 2 things because it's not that serious. Instagram to me shows all my work. If you see anything you want to work with and collaborate with me, you can email me through my Instagram or through my Facebook. I do have a subtitle of Geek Junky Facebook, but I also have my personal page, which is really not personal, but it's under Shaniqua Quinones, CHANIQUE. QUINONES, and that's how you can reach me for either or. But I do not do all the other outlets because I think it's unnecessary personally for me because I'm reachable to a certain extent. Just DM me and I'll respond. So yeah,
I love that, and
I love that.
Yeah, I think it's so important to respond to people because nowadays, like you said, you reach out to people for help, and they just shut you down. They ignore you. I think it's important to help each other. That's what we're in this for. So salute to you for responding to people.
You are just so phenomenal. You're dope. You are this generation's Andy Warhol. What can we look forward to in the future from Geek Junky?
My goals for the future is to change the narrative of who we compare ourselves or aspire to be. In 2014, that was beautiful to be called an Andy Warhol. To be my version of that, but I want to see more representation of melanin skin that we inspired to be. And my end goal is to inspire to be like Ruth Carter, who did get Oscars for Black Panther. And then also you have Kevin Mays, who was the Ted Taylor, who also got an Oscars. Or was it Emmys? I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Is it Oscar or Emmys?
An Oscar.
An Oscar, I'm sorry, for tailoring Black Panther. And I want to be examples like them. I want to set that example for future versions of me. End goal is definitely to be into the Designers Guild. And that's it. That's my end goal, is just to be examples for others and inspire others and bring people on to the projects and show them a way how they can, the steps to this new future of us.
Collaborate.
That's all I live for. Oh my gosh, I live for collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I'll just ask one last question. Can you talk to us about that piece behind you?
Yes.
I love her. Okay. Well, this fabric is unconventional because it's not normally, well, anything is fabric, but this was not used for a fabric section. It wasn't by the yard, which makes it a fabric. This was a throw cover for a couch from IKEA, and it was $3 for the piece. I bought a whole bag. It was a whole pack or whatever it was, a whole pack with a little orange tag to connect to your couch or something. It was $3. So I broke it apart, used it as fabric, made a dress. I did a puffy sleeve with mesh tubing. Mesh tubing is normally used in MomoCon or any type of like cosplaying for a hair representation. I thought that would be cute as a hairpiece. And then the mask. I live for masks. I love faces. I see faces in a lot of things. And it's a bunny mask, so it covers the breast area because it is out. It is exposed. So this is like a plate for the breast area. I love the unconventional. I love the weird. I love just prints and silhouettes. And that's why I just love what I do. Period. She is so pretty.
Yes, she
That
is very beautiful, very unique.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes.
Geek Junky, thank you so much for being here on the highlight reel. It was a true pleasure.
Thank you, Geek Junky.
Thank you, Nas. Thank you, Lester. I'm so excited and proud to be a part of this program on the highlight reel to showcase my next journey and the flow of what I can bring to this industry and to work with people like y'all every day. I am so grateful and honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Period.
Likewise. Thank you. Period. Yes.
Period.
Chadwick Boseman, an amazing actor, humanitarian, and superhuman being. I remember going to see the Black Panther with my sons, and I cried because when I was young, there weren't any superheroes that looked like me. To see that in my lifetime was an honor, and for my sons to see Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther was epic. I went back to the movies and I watched it again, this time in 3D. I wanted to see the Black Panther walk towards me in that stunning suit designed by the remarkable Ruth Carter.
Chadwick, he has a lot of depth. It was amazing as an audience member to look into his eyes and see what's going on.
We must find a way to look after one another as if we were one single tribe.
It's fun to watch just what it means to people. At times, in my head, I'll be like, well, what does this do for the world? Like, actually, what is it? Is it actually valuable in this climate? And I have to say, yes, it actually is. Not because it makes people escape. I think when done right, it gives people hope. I found that it means a lot.
Chadwick Boseman, you will always be my hero. Thank you for making history.
Thank you for joining us on the highlight reel with Geek Junky. I am your host, Nas Panky.
And I'm Lester Green.
Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, peace, love, and popcorn.